my troubles with washing dishes. Right, so I'm sure like many of you out there, I get to have the absolute pleasure of washing the dishes in my house. And I believe it is a well-known fact that washing the dishes isn't exactly the most enjoyable of activities. That's why today I want to talk about just some of the most annoying dishwashing experiences I've had. But before I get started, let me give you just a quick little backstory on me and my dishwashing situation. I'm Tuffy and I come from a family of 4 that consists of my mum, my dad, my older brother and myself. The dishwashing situation there was, I'd say, pretty good, even though we don't have a dishwasher. We normally take turns to do the dishes, which I find is pretty convenient, lightens the load a bit, and to be honest, I don't really see any issues in the way the dishes are done in my house. After all, it is my house, and things are set up to suit my family. However, I went on a student exchange to Chile where I got to live with another family for a few months and see all the little faults that they have with their dishwashing situation. So first of all, the host family I was staying with was a bit bigger than my own, as there was a total of 7 of us rather than just 4. Of course, being an exchange student, I had to take part in helping out around the house like a regular family member. And one of those jobs that happened to get assigned to me was to wash the dishes every other day. And since there wasn't a dishwasher in the household either, it just meant a little more time had to be spent washing up than in my house. But that's all good, no problems yet. Where I found the problems was with the assigned jobs involving the dishes. So first of all, there was the youngest host brother. In this story, I'll be referring to him as Johnny. Johnny was 8. As Johnny was the youngest, he of course had the easiest job, which was to clear the table after we had finished eating. And he always made a real fuss of doing that job. And to be honest, it would have been much better if someone else did it instead of him, as he did an absolutely terrible job of it. And here's why. Normally, or at least what I see as normal, the person who cleared the table would stack the dishes in an ordinary fashion and leave them in the sink. You know, biggest plates at the bottom of the pile, and then as you go up, smaller plates and cutlery, and then cups and things like that on the side. I mean, to me that makes perfect sense. However, to the 8-year-old Johnny, this concept of nicely stacking the dishes was obviously a very foreign concept. He would always pretty much just yeet all the things into the sink in no particular order at all. So there would be large plates stacked on small ones, which were stacked up on mugs and glasses. Oh, it was a nightmare. I mean, I swear, that little man found ways of defying gravity with his stacking techniques. And on top of that, he wouldn't chuck out any food scraps in the bin. They just went straight into the sink with everything else. Like this one time, for example, he just left his half-eaten piece of bread in the sink, which would soon after get absolutely soaked with water because someone, right after him, turned on the tap while the bread was still in the sink. That just meant when I went to wash the dishes that day, I would of course be greeted by a nice and soggy, half-eaten piece of bread, which I of course then had to chuck out, which was pretty disgusting and bad enough on its own. However, what I didn't know was that piece of bread was keeping the whole pile of dishes somehow balanced, and the removal of it caused an instant and incredibly loud collapse of the entire pile. So to this day I'm still a wee bit puzzled as to why the family kept Johnny on that job, as he did these gravity-defying experiments just about every single day. But you know how families go, everyone's got to chip in and help out. Right, so that wraps up just one of my annoyances that I've encountered while washing dishes away from home. I hope that you've enjoyed my petty little rant, and if there is anyone out there watching who is like little Johnny, who likes to make gravity-defying experiments in their kitchen sink after dinner time, I would like to ask you to please not do that for the sake of the person who has to wash up after. So if you've enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like and clicking the subscribe button below. It will really help out the channel. Also, if you enjoy this kind of video, consider leaving a comment down below if you'd like to see a part 2 come out shortly. I have plenty more stories just like this one that I'm more than happy to share with you.